For computer principles, I have modules. The first module is an introduction to computers. Then there's a second module. Click the plus sign. Go inside the module and click the star sign. Click the plus to add another called components of the computer. Click the star on the second one to bring up the third, like operating systems. Click the star for applications and programming languages. I'm in the course name, data security, or let's start with networks. Let's add a module about networks. But if I click the plus, I can add another one, the components of the computer. I want to create a third one without pressing the plus. You can click on the star while you're on the second one, and it will bring you the third one, operating systems. I click on the star for applications. I click on the star for programming languages. If I click on the plus, it's the same thing. Just click on the plus. Let's add a module about networks. Then I click on the plus to add another module for data security. I click on the star and say applications. I click on the star for coding. Now, if I click on the plus, it's the same thing. Click on the plus. Here I am in the course name, data security. Or let's start with networks. Let's add a module about networks. Then I give it a module, click on the plus, and add a module for data security. It's an introduction. Also, let's add AI. For example, I have classes in the course and you can control them. I don't want the topic to go like this. I'm messing things up. I want it to stay fixed in a certain way. You see how you're doing it with a mind map. I'm messing around, taking each part and moving it freely. I can see the view. Then I add a module by clicking the plus, and I give it a module for data security. It's just an introduction. Like the new trend, I also add artificial intelligence, even if it's just a small module on artificial intelligence, for example. Here, for example, I have sections in the curriculum, and you can control them. I don't want the topic to go like this. I'm messing things up. I want it to stay fixed in a certain way. So you see how you're doing it with a mind map. I'm just messing around, taking each part and moving it freely. And that's not logical. So I can just see the view here. Okay, there's just one thing, and that is Where's the style in the hierarchy? Let's click this arrow. No, this is the leader. Let's check in the view. It might be defined there. It's not here. This is the layout, but I want its button outside. This is the layout I want, supposed to be here. I'm telling the view I want the item to appear. Let's go up and see. Let's check the first button. It shows your item below. The second button shows the bar up there. We're looking at the elements in front of me. Defined in the view, not here. This is the layout. I want to move its button outside. This layout should be here in this spot. So I'm telling the view to show the item. I have these on the right side. Let's see what this is about. I have solutions in both buttons. The first shows your item below, no problem. The second shows the bar up there, no problem. Elements in front of me, mind map style, available on the side, start from the list. Note customization might be needed. Layout might not be available. I can bring and add the layout like this. So when I display the layout, I have all of these on the right side, so let's go up and see what this topic is. No, I want to say no, because I have the solution in both. Click here. Let's see this. The first one brought you your position below. Okay, I have no problem. I have the second button. No, it brought you the bar up there. There is also no problem here. We see the elements that are in front of me. The mind map style has all these items available on the side, and you can start from the list of all this. This is important because there might be customization and the layout might not be available. For example, I can bring the layout like this and add it. So when I display the layout and I say, okay, it should appear here. It did show up, but I didn't want it this way. I wanted it to show everything. I wanted to see all the elements together, not just part of them. I want to have a complete view of everything available. If I customize it, I can set it to default. And I say, okay, it appears here. But I didn't want it this way. I wanted it to show everything, you know? Customize. If I set it to default and say, okay, there's no default layout. I just want to understand. Customize. If I made default, I told him, Okay, there is no default layout in it. That I want to understand. So why isn't there a strong default layout? What do I have to do? Is there a control key? Is there a shift key? Is there an alt key? No. Is it a double click? A double click? A double click? A double click? I tried everything. I said, okay, but that's it. I got everything. I said, okay, is that it? So I tried everything. I said, okay, but that's it. I got everything. I said, okay, is that it? So everything is here with me. And this one is not here, and that one is here. They showed me that they are not available, so I brought them by default. So it's supposed to be here. Everything is here with me, and this one is not here, and that one is here. They showed me that they are not available. By the way, I brought them. It's supposed to stay here in. I need you to control it. The tools, show and hide. This view style isn't our issue. What's important is that it's available and you can get it here with other elements. This is the edit and this is the file. There's nothing else in the menu except this. I want to adjust my mind map to create branches. In this area, it's free for layout, meaning you can move things as you like, but I want it horizontal, fixed, and Arabic from right to left. Nothing is moving as I like. I'm not happy with the design, so I'll set it to automatic. Forget right, it will look like this. This is the edit. I want to adjust my mind map to create branches. It's free layout, so you can move items. I want it horizontal, fixed, and Arabic from right to left. It's set to right to left. I'm not happy with the design, so I'll set it to automatic. It will look like this. This looks nice. Here are my items. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now let's dive into the components. I have a plus sign. I'll add internal and external components. The components are external and internal. I want it to be horizontal like this, fixed, and it's Arabic from right to left. I told it okay, so now it's right to left. This one, I moved it back again. This one, I moved it back again. This one, I moved it back again. Nothing is moving as I like. I'm not happy with the design, so I'll set it to automatic. Forget right, it will look like this. This view is nice, but you still can't move it. And this is even better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are the items in my list. Now let's dive into the components. I have a plus sign here. I'll add the internal and external components. I'll start with the external ones because they're easier. And then I'll move on to the internal ones. The components are external and internal. And I have inside the external components, examples of which include input and output. Also, I have personally observed how the mind map looks. And the internal components could be such as the memory. And I also have the processor. I mean the internal components, and it could be the motherboard. And of course, the output units, such as the printer, the plus speakers, the star, the speakers, and the microphone input. You input sound through the microphone, and then you have the keyboard and the mouse. So this branch of the mind map is a solid branch. I really like this branch. The second branch is about operating systems. It could be Linux, which can be commercial like Windows, or open source like Linux, for example. I'm talking about these commercial systems using Microsoft as an example. And here we're talking about commercial systems using Microsoft as an example. I mentioned earlier that I was working with you on this. Didn't I tell you? Here I'll talk about DOS, for example, and discuss the historical development of these things. DOS, Windows 95, and 98. 90 with Mania and 2000 and XP and Vista, and we also have Windows 7, 8, 10, and 11. So you're working with these, right? And 10 and 11. So what are you working on now, such as Windows 10 or 11, for example, including these versions like Windows 7, 8, 10, and 11, etc. You can manage it. Tell it Windows 3.11 versions. This branching is useful later. For programming languages, briefly overview C and basic in the mind map. For networks, explain LAN and WAN. Give info on data security. Provide insights on email security. This mind map generated applications. Give him Microsoft work. Give Word, Excel for writing. Mention other applications. Give cloud applications. Networks. You can explain to him a little about LAN, for example, and colors. You can give him a little bit about data security. You can give him a few things about email security. I will talk to him here about email, for example. And there might not be anything else. This is my mind map, and from it, applications were generated. You can give him Microsoft work, of course. You can give him Word and Excel, something for writing. Sorry, give him writing. And you can also mention some other applications. By the way, here, you can give him cloud applications. Like the windows that are available on Microsoft 300, which is from the university, and Google, give him Google applications like Google Docs and all that. Here, writing, tables, and databases. So give him the information about databases and all that. I'm working on my course, and I understand it well, and I have some good stuff. And here, you can give him cloud applications. You can give him Google, but also Microsoft. And in Microsoft, you can give him our examples like Word and Excel. And in Google, you can give him Docs and Sheets and all the Google stuff.